Hello there, how are you all doing? Right, first of all, I'm just letting you all know I'm going to be taking a break for a little bit whilst I rewrite, should I say, sequel to Legion Saga. Wrote out the entire manuscript from late 2023 onwards, and it really wasn't up to scratch. Some good elements in it, but so I took those out. But the pace was all wrong, the flow was all wrong, and the ending was pretty weak. So I thought, sod it, scrapped it, took out the elements that were good, and took the rest in the bin and started again. So far it's going quite well. I'm actually enjoying writing it this time. I think the problem with it last time was, those of you who followed me for a bit will know about me. The other mentor that died in January 2023, and then my brother in June. So yeah, it wasn't a good year, and I think I really was writing it to take my mind off things naturally. Obviously it wasn't really the right mindset for it, so I started again. Like I said, it's going well, but it does mean that I'm going to have to concentrate on that to get it finished in any sort of quick time, because I need to get it out. It's driving me mad, just procrastinating. So yeah, hopefully I can get it out before summer. So yeah, I'm not going to be around probably for a couple of 3 weeks. Maybe releasing a couple of short videos here and there, but my series have been put on hold for the moment while I concentrate on this. It was all started, believe it or not, by my son. Like, those who don't know, my son's autistic. Goes to a special school because he's quite non-verbal. Anyway, they were doing Shakespeare, Macbeth, because they thought it was full of violence and everything else, and the kids will love it. It's true, it is, yeah. But they were tasked with rewriting the ending, an alternative ending. And when I had a meeting with an education plan meeting with his teacher, which we have every year, she said, "Oh, you wrote an ending for it, it's fantastic, it's really good." So I chip off the old block. Well, shall I send him home with it? You can have a look. It's really good. Really good, I'm really proud of him. But it made me think, hold on. Get your fucking book out. So that's another reason why I'm doing it. Spurred me on, yeah? Give me a kick up the arse, which I very much needed. The next thing. Some of you aren't going to like this, and quite frankly I couldn't give a shit. It's a topic I've covered ad nauseum, but many of you don't really get it. Still, to this day, would you believe it? None of you are listening. Well, those of you who watch my channel are probably listening. Still making the same mistake, a few of you, but controlled opposition. Now, I've tried explaining why many of you don't actually understand what controlled opposition is, or how they work, or who they are. So we're going to try a couple of alternative methods for you all to try out. The first one, when you're accusing someone of being controlled opposition, ask yourself, why are you calling them controlled opposition? Have you got evidence to prove it? Other than maybe a wristband, or the fact that they may have been seen at a Hebrew school outside while they're having a fag with someone. Yeah? And by fag I mean cigarettes, it's English slang, not a slur. But actually, this is essentially what is half the Half the people who are calling people controlled opposition. Anyway, do you have actual evidence? Or are you calling these people controlled opposition because they disagreed with you? Which 90%, well no, I'd say even more, 90, 95, 99%, right, of the people accused of being controlled opposition are being accused of being controlled opposition because they disagreed with the person accusing them. The rest of them are agents doing that on purpose because they've flown too close to the sun, so to speak. But like I said, most of you don't get this, yeah? For some unknown reason. So try this. A method I've never tried before. Right? To show you how many of you don't understand the fucking thing about the way our whole movement works, because our movement isn't our movement, it's theirs. This is something else you need to get into your heads. It was made for the system, by the system, and is utilised primarily by the system. We are their greatest tool, their most valuable asset, and likely their proudest invention. Something else I've said countless times. It was started by them, by the system. It's never been organic. None of the people who are quite prominent have gained that following organically. That doesn't mean though that all of them are controlled opposition. It just means that they weave a narrative that's useful to the system, right? I've said this before countless times. They give us seeds, we plant them, cultivate them and disseminate them, yeah? These psyops, we create them ourselves. They call it gardening. We're the gardeners. We tend to the crop. The crop in this case being disinformation, misinformation, psychological operations. But along with, everyone's heard the old saying that if we need a hero, they will provide one. There's also an extra part of that old saying that many people leave out, and that's if they need an enemy, we will provide one of them too. Now most of you incorrectly believe that you can spot a controlled op from a mile away. I don't think you can say the same about your enemies. Your planned enemies, the placed enemies, the smokescreen enemies. Many of you don't even think that this is an actual concept. I can already tell that already. The enemy is the first thing that they plant, because that's their get out of jail free card. They've done it for countless generations. They're very good at it. They weave narratives, create facts, create scenarios that makes them the enemy in your eyes, yeah? None of you, the people that you think are the enemy, right? You don't think they're the enemy, again, organically. You've been engineered to think that way. Now many of you going, what? You've been engineered to think that way. Might you've been engineered to think that controlled ops are controlled ops when they're not. The same is true of enemies. And they've done this for centuries. They choose a demographic, a nation, to build them up. They propagandise them on one hand to make them feel superior. They propagandise us on the other hand to make us see them as a threat. They also get members of their own communities to incite further and further hatred towards their own kind. These people are despicable. Yeah. It's on money. Plus they think they'll get a seat at the table. They never will. These people at the top, yes, there's a couple of Jewish families in there, but they're not Jews. It's not Israel. I've said this countless times. This is the engineered enemy. The next one is going to be the Muslims. That's how they're weaving things at the moment. Everything that's happening now with them happened in the late 1800s to the Jewish people. It's exactly the same game plan, and they've used it countless times. Done it with the Cathars, done it with the Templars, Catholics, Protestants, Jacobeans, you name it. The system are European royal bloodlines, descending from Charlemagne. I've seen some ridiculous claims that Charlemagne was Jewish. That's just ridiculous. Charlemagne, Scandinavian, was Viking, morons. This is our enemy, and they've given us our enemy every single time to hide what they're doing and what they have been doing and what they do. Whenever you see a finger pointing, first look at the person who's pointing the finger before looking into who they're pointing at. Alright, see you later.